can barely hear myself through my speakers. And I am all the way up on volume level, so we will work with that a little bit. Okay, so my aim today. We have 6 matches. We have 6 matches that are going to be happening. I am going to turn up the volume a little bit more on the gameplay just so that for now we get a little bit of music going in here. Hello, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, I can hear my legs shaking in the recording, so okay, I have turned the volume down on myself and we are getting ready to go. So this here today is an exclusive behind the scenes of how Ethernet community wrestling works. I'm going to go through some of the heavy stuff, some of the not so heavy stuff, and we're also going to get into a little bit of gameplay here. So let me grab my one paper that's got the matches for today on it. We have 6 matches today, which is not as many as I would usually do on a normal day. This is actually the recording for let me see, 8/20/2020, so August 20th, a couple of months ago. Just as a little backstory, right around the time that the world started shutting down and everything, I thought it would be a really cool idea to start this up. One of the things that got me to stop doing it was some of the more political stuff that was going on. It really took a toll on me. I stopped recording for a while. I stopped recording myself, and then I stopped recording altogether. So I'm going to move this over here a little bit so that the shakiness isn't as bad with my leg, and I'll get into that a little bit more. But we're back with a whole new setup. I'm here, you're here. We got the beautifulness of the screen. I got you on 2 screens here. Actually 3 screens. I got myself recording live on Twitch. I've got the capture card now, which is dangling off the table. Should probably not have that dangling off the table. Let's make that a little nicer. Sorry about the reach. So, yeah, a little bit more backstory about myself. I've been getting sick recently, so I haven't been able to work at all. So I thought it would be a good time as any to get back into this, recording everything, recording myself a little bit more. The reason that everything is going to sound a little shaky or be a little shaky video-wise or sound-wise, you're going to hear some clicking and stuff, because I have let what is assumed to be but not diagnosed as restless leg syndrome. I also have twitches and tremors and stuff like that, convulsions. So if at any time you notice like my head shaking or my shoulder shaking or anything like that, that's why. Get it right off the bat, I have 3 tattoos, all for deceased family members. Love them all to pieces. Figured I'd show my support for them, my love for them, having them all right where I can see them every day. On my hand, you're going to be seeing a lot of those 3 people, but potentially a 4th person from my great grandma who died a couple years ago. But anyways, let's get started, shall we? we're gonna actually start with a match that I think is potential to steal the show here. It's gonna be Snake versus King DDD. I wasn't gonna start with a match, but I figured since we are here for Ethernet Community Wrestling, we might as well have some matches. So here we go. One. Whoops. So, the reason why this match is important. This is the third round of the Ethernet Community Wrestling Higher Ground Tournament, which is going to be happening every October. Higher Ground is the October tournament that is going to culminate with not October, it's the August tournament. Forgot that we are not in October yet, we're still in August. August tournament that's going to be ending on Sunday, August 30th at the Higher Ground pay-per-view. So yeah, we are getting along pretty decently. We got 2 weeks left of the tournament. We've got today, right now, the 20th. I'll probably be recording more than once today. We've got right now, which would be the 20th, and then the 27th would be the next one that we would record, and then the 30th would be Higher Ground. Snake not doing too hot, and Snake has been eliminated. DDD moves on to the semifinals, and with that, we will put down the volume on here, bring back the volume for me. I mean, well, it's been here, but you know what I'm saying. So, one thing that's been happening is this Higher Ground tournament is actually debuting the open weight division, a division that I've been wanting to open up for a little while. It's a division that they have over in Japan. Sorry about this. Give me 1 second. It's a division that they have over in Japan at New Japan Pro Wrestling. They have an open weight division, and I really like that idea. Being able to have each weight division, but also having a open weight championships title, so that all divisions can come together. We can have, like for instance, we had King K. Rool versus Min Min in the main event of the August 13th episode. We had Pitt versus Byleth, Hero versus Larry, Ganondorf versus Robin, Isabel versus Marth, Mega Man versus Corrin, Bowser versus Yoshi, and it really gives a wider range of really cool matchups that we can have. Plus, it also gives people that are struggling in their own division, if they want to move over to open weight, see if that works out for them. There's also the tag team division um, that people can go hop into if they want to. I'll go through each weight division class by class, and then I'll move over to tag team division, and then I'm going to actually announce some people that are going to be exclusively moving over to the open weight division now that that is open, which is going to be pretty dang exciting to announce to everybody. So let's get over to here. Sorry about the wait. Let's duplicate this, or let's extend this so that I can see both screens at the same time. Okay, so in order of how they're placed in the game, heavyweight division, we have Donkey Kong, Samus, Dark Samus, Captain Falcon, Bowser, Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, Chrom, Wario, Snake, Ike, King Dedede, Rob, Mega Man, Bowser Jr., Roy, or Bowser Jr., Roy, however else you want to say that one. Morton, Ryu, Bayonetta, Ridley, Simon Richter, King K. Rool, Incineroar, Piranha Plant, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry, and Byleth. And I kind of skimmed over Richard, but Richard's there. Okay, moving on to the middleweight division, we have Mario, Link, Luigi, Peach with an E here, oops, Daisy, Zelda, Falco, Marth, Lucina, Roy from Fire Emblem. I almost said Final Fantasy for a second there. Lucario, Wolf, male and female Wii Fit trainers, Rosalina, Greninja, Palutena, Pac-Man, Robin, Shulk, Wendy, Iggy, Ludwig, Ken, Cloud, Corrin, Joker, Hero, and Min Min, who has not had a middleweight division match yet. She has been exclusively open weight division, so we'll see later on if she'll really ever get into the middleweight division, or if she's going to stick around in the open weight division for a while. In the lightweight division, we have Yoshi, Kirby, Fox, Pikachu, Ness, Jigglypuff, Ice Climber, Sheik, Pichu, Young Link, Mewtwo, Mr. Game & Watch, Meta Knight, Pit, Dark Pit, Zero Suit Samus, Diddy Kong, Lucas, Sonic, Olimar, Toon Link, Villager, Little Mac, Larry, Lemmy, Duck Hunt, Inkling, and Isabelle. I'll move over to tag team, and then we will have our second match of the day. Tag team division, we have Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Banjo and Kazooie, Link, Toon Link, and Young Link, Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina, and then all of these other ones are tag teams of two, and I'll get into a little bit more how those trios work. But we have Samus and Zero Suit Samus, Kirby and Meta Knight, Fox and Falco, Pikachu and Pichu, Lucas and Ness, Bowser and Bowser Jr., Marth and Lucina, Roy and Chrom, Pit and Palutena, Villager and Isabelle, male and female Wii Fit trainers, Ryu and Ken, Simon and Richter, Sheik and Zelda, Dark Samus and Ridley, and then two that are not on here. Did I say Lucas and Ness? Lucas and Ness are in here. I don't know if I said their names or not. Yeah, I said their names. Lucario and Greninja are one of the two teams, and then Roy from Mario and Wendy are on the last team. So now that I've gone through all of those weight divisions, let's move on to the next match up on the cards, which is Mega Man versus Marth. If I can find Mega Man, there he is. Make myself a little bit smaller here. There we go. Okay, now we can see a little bit better. Let's turn up the volume on this. So I turned this down for just a second just to let everybody know that while the matches are going on, I'm probably not going to talk at all, just because in order to have the volume high enough on the music and the fighting and all that kind of stuff, I kind of have to put down the sound for me to be able to talk. So we're going to turn the volume back up on the fighting, and I'm gonna shut up. Marth with a pretty abysmal showing there against Mega Man. I'm curious if I'm able to find a microphone or something that I can use to make my sound a little bit better. But we'll worry about that a different time. So we're getting into the 20-minute mark here. That is going to signal for us, ding, 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 us getting into how each division works. So what we have in the tag team division, actually in all the divisions, are a couple different systems that work together to bring up a final score that ultimately puts people in a placement, a ranking system. Sorry, my nose was itchy. So, for instance, let's start off with we'll do a couple examples. So we have Donkey Kong as our first example. We start off with Season 1. We're still in Season 1. January 1st will be the end of Season 1. And I might switch that around a little bit, make an off period, like 2 months or a month period where there's nothing happening. Just give me a chance to go through everything, reset everything, and start from scratch again with Season 2. But we'll figure all that stuff out. And I mean, December might be the best time to have that off period. I don't know yet. But so Season 1 win-loss records, Donkey Kong is 1-3-0, which means he's got 1 win, 3 losses, and 0 sudden death victories, or sudden death losses, I should say. So we'll move over from there. Donkey Kong has a plus or minus score of -1, which means that through all of his matches, he has one less KO than he does falls, meaning that at the end of every match, I tally up falls to knockouts. So if Donkey Kong had 3 knockouts and 3 falls, then he has a score of 0 for that match. Evidently, through all of his matches, he's had at least 1 more fall than he has KO, which makes sense considering he has a 1-3 record. So point values then are tallied up. The point value being his win record, and this is the same point system that the NHL, the National Hockey League, uses, which is 2 points for a win and 1 point for a overtime or sudden death defeat, and then 0 points for a loss. So Donkey Kong has a score of 2. He has 1 win. So times that by 2. 1 win times 2 plus any sudden death losses, which is 0. So he has a score of 2. Some people that don't have a score have a score of 0 would be Samus, Chrome, Wario, Ike, and Ryu and Richard, who all have no wins and only defeats. So those people are doing pretty bad, are doing real bad. Those are a couple examples for that. So now let's go down to Donkey Kong to find out his overall score. So his win-loss record, which is his losses minus his wins. Right. Yeah. So it would be 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. Any sudden death losses, which is 0. His plus or minus score, which is a negative 1. And his total point value, which is 2, which is his 1 victory times 2, gives him an overall score of a negative 1. So, excuse me. In terms of top 10, he's definitely not the top 10. But in terms of of the heavyweight division as a whole, a negative 1 is not great at all. You have to be in the top, to be in the top 10, you have to have at least a score of over 10 at this point in the season. Anybody that doesn't have a score that's over 10 doesn't exactly have a very good chance of getting into the top 10 at all. Unfortunately, once people start to bump down that ladder, they end up getting less and less matches, which ends up with them never really getting a chance to try to climb back up to the top again, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, that isn't necessarily the fault of the system. That's the fault of the player per se, for not putting up, showing up to the matches, and doing that great. So let's do another example. We'll do one of somebody that has a little better score. Actually, we'll do the person with the best score, which is Iggy. Iggy has been the only middleweight division champion. He won the inaugural championship at the April pay-per-view Warzone, which is just insane. He has 8 wins and 1 defeat. That 1 defeat was not for the championship. It was just a singles title. So that's already a total of 16 points for him, because 8 times 2 is 16. So that's his point value. Let's move over to his plus or minus score, which I would assume is going to be good. Yeah, his plus or minus score is a positive 8. Which is not the best plus or minus score. The best plus or minus score is actually Byleth with 11. And then Isabel also has 8. Hero has 8. I think all of those people are tied for second place with 8. So we'll move over to his points score, which is 16, like I said. So we'll move down a little bit to where he's at. So he has a win-loss record score of 7. 8 minus 1 is 7. He has 8 total points. He has his win-loss record score is 16, because 8 times 2 is 16. He has a total score of 31 points, which is the best score of anybody. Not shocking, because his win-loss record is so good. I believe it's the best in the game so far. Let's see if anybody has any loss. If there is anybody with no losses so far. I don't think anybody doesn't have losses. The only person that doesn't have a loss is Min Min, who has not played yet. So we'll say that she's doing okay. So let's go to somebody that has a sudden death score. We'll actually go to the person with the most sudden death wins, or sudden death losses, I should say, which is Mega Man with 2. Mega Man is 3, 1, and 2, which means he has 3 wins, 1 defeat, and 2 sudden death losses, which comes out to a score of 8. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. he has a plus or minus record of 2, a positive 2. So that comes out to a score of, let's find him, 14. He has a score of 14, which is very good. He is indeed in the top 10. Let's actually move down to the top 10 for the singles divisions and see where we're at. This one has been updated on 7/26. Remember, we're way behind right now. 7/26. We have our 3 current champions in the singles divisions, minus the open weight title, which is being fought for right now. We have King K. Rool with 24 points, Iggy with 31 points, and Ness with 23 points. Those are our champions in their respective divisions. The top 10 currently only has 9 people in it because some people tied for the 10th place. Heavyweight division, we have Byleth with 23 points, Ganondorf with 18 points, Banjo and Kazooie with 16 points, Mega Man with 14, Terry with 12, Incineroar with 10, King DDD with 9, Snake with 7, and Ridley with 5 points. Like I said, you really need to have some high point values in order to be in the top 10 right now. The lowest point total in the top 10 is 4, and that's Villager in the lightweight division. Moving over to the middleweight division, we have Hero in the number 1 contender spot with 19, and then Robin in second with 18, and then Korn with 14, Falco with 13, Cloud with 12, Link with 10, Lucario with 8, Zelda with 6, Mario with 5. And then moving over to the lightweight division, we have Larry, who is a former champion with 19, Isabel, who's a former champion with 18, Yoshi with 13, Ice Climbers with 12, Dark Pit with 10, Inkling with 8, Meta Knight with 7, Olimar with 6, and Villager with 4. The worst, the person that is former champion with the worst score right now is Mr. Game & Watch, who was the very first lightweight champion. He has a -4 score right now. He did very good at the beginning and then just dropped the ball from then on after losing the championship to Larry. He has a score of -2. So, yeah, not great for Mr. Game & Watch. So, let's move on to our next match, which is going to be, we're going to do Ganondorf versus Hero next. If I can find Ganondorf. Is he behind me? Yep, he's behind me. After this match, we will move over to tag team. that was definitely a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Um, we'll turn down the volume on the game, and we will get right back into some statistic stuff. Woohoo! So, just to go over what's been happening um, in the higher ground tournament. So we had 48 competitors that went down to 12. Have gone down to 12, 48 to 24 to 12. So when we get down to 6, there's going to be two groups of 3 that are going to be going head to head. It's going to be King DDD, and then the winners of Dr. Mario and Incineroar, and then Terry and Bowser, and then Mega Man, Ganondorf, and then the winner of Byleth and King K. Rool. So, with Marth and Hero being eliminated, we are guaranteed to have a heavyweight winning the inaugural openweight division championship. We have King DDD in there, we have Byleth in there, and King K. Rool, who are all former and current heavyweight champions. So it is very interesting. Byleth and King K. Rool. I'm gonna double check, fact check myself right now real quick. And so King K. Rool, King DDD was the inaugural champion. He won the championship on the very first episode of United Through Wrestling, which is what we are doing right now. He won that and held it for 10 days, lost it to King K. Rool, who held it for 63 days, and then lost it to Byleth at Authority Asylum, who held it for 28 days before losing it back to King K. Rool at Capital Barrage. Let me do a thing real quick, turning off my notifications. Let's move over to lightweight for a second. So, Mr. Game & Watch held the title for 35 days until he lost at Key to Victory to Larry, who held it for 28 days. Lost it to Isabel at Authority Asylum, and then Isabel then lost it for 28 days to Ness, who is now the current champion, who won it at Capital Barrage. Moving on over to the tag team division now. Point systems and everything are a little bit different, basically the same, but just a tad bit different for the tag team division. But just real quick, since Key to Victory, which was May 31st, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Banjo and Kazooie have been the champions since then. I do not remember how many days that has been, but they are the reigning champions right now. Excuse me. We'll take them for instance. Starting off with them, Donkey Kong, Banjo and Kazooie, and Diddy Kong have a total combined score of 47 points, which is the biggest of any division, naturally. So how this works is the win-loss records for each person, and King DDD, King K. Rool, or King Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Banjo and Kazooie. There's only 2 of them fighting at a time, so there's no advantage to having more than 2 people on a team. It's actually a disadvantage at sometimes. Diddy Kong and Diddy Kong and Banjo are the only 2 of that team that have lost. Donkey Kong is undefeated in tag teams with 5 wins and 0 defeats. No sudden death wins or losses. There's only been 1 sudden death loss in the tag team division, and that was male and female We Fit trainers lost once in sudden death. So let's take the champions, for instance, currently as our example. So Donkey Kong has a win-loss record of 5-0. Banjo has a win-loss record of 3-1, and Diddy Kong has a loss record of 2-1. So Banjo and Kazooie and Diddy Kong have lost one time, and then Banjo has won 3 times with Donkey Kong. Diddy Kong has won twice with Donkey Kong. Moving over to the plus or minus scores, naturally, because Donkey Kong has won 5 times and lost 0 times, he's going to have a positive score of a lot, which is 17. Banjo and Kazooie has a plus or minus score of 6, and Diddy Kong has a plus or minus score of -4. So if Diddy Kong was able to bring himself back up from -4, that score for them, their final score would be just massive. Their points total, Donkey Kong has 10, 5 times 2 is 10. Banjo has 6, 3 times 2 is 6, and then Diddy Kong has 4 times, or 2 times 2 is 4. So Diddy Kong cancels himself out. Sorry, I'm stretching. Always a good time to stretch. Diddy Kong's score and plus or minus score cancel each other out with 4 and -4. So you add all those up. Diddy Kong has a score of +1. Banjo has a score of +14. And Donkey Kong has a score of +32. Donkey Kong's overall score in tag team is better than anybody in any division right now. So you add all those scores up, and it comes out to 47 points. Diddy Kong really bringing down that team right now, something that Banjo and Donkey Kong should really consider thinking about knocking Diddy Kong out if Diddy Kong was to cause them to lose the championship at any time. But until then, keep him around. We'll go now to, let's see, the worst score, which is Bowser and Bowser Jr., which is kind of shocking that Bowser and Bowser Jr. would have such a bad score of -15. So let's look at their score. Bowser has a win-loss record of -3, which means that he has 4 losses and 1 win. Bowser Jr. also 4-1, so they both are at -3s. No sudden death losses. Their plus or minus score, let's see. Bowser has a plus or minus score of -6, and Bowser Jr. has a plus or minus score of -2. Their point totals, because they have 1 win apiece, they have an equal point total adding up to 4. So overall score, Bowser is at -7 and Bowser Jr. is at -8 for a grand total of -15. Let's go to the top 10 now for 726. And the reason why we're still at 726, even though we are recording for August 20th, I'm going to write that down here, August 20th. I'm writing that next to my scores for today's matches, is because no tag team or singles stuff has been happening because the open weight division is kind of taking over for the month of August at this point. So we have Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Bowser with 47 points. They're the champions. Number 1 contenders currently is Villager and Isabel with 30 points. Palutena and Pit behind them with 26 points. Male and female Wii Fit trainers right behind them with 26 points as well. So that those two, I'll explain in a second why that's important that they both have the same point totals. Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina with 22 points. Ness and Lucas with 21 points. Dark, Samus, and Ridley with 19. Roy from the Bowser Juniors and Wendy, they have 13. Kirby and Meta Knight with 11. Simon and Richard with 10. And then the Links with 7. Link, Young Link, and Toon Link with 7. The reason that it's important that Palutena and Pit and male and female Wii Fit trainers all have 26 point totals is because when I'm deciding what matches to put up each week, first thing I look at is who's tied in points. I don't like seeing tied scores in my top 10. It mucks everything up. For me personally, I don't like it. So those are number one on my list of what matches are going where. I do have a couple matches that I could go through today, but excuse me, I think that is going to be a match that we do end up having. I'm actually going to write that down right now. Palutena and Pit versus male and female Wii Fit trainers. And you know what? We're going to have that match right now. Let's get started. Yes, I understand. I completely forgot until after I started talking that I can't even hear myself when I'm talking with the headphones on. But yeah, so after this, I'll talk to you again. Okay, so let me put this back up just a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, we can hear it. Okay, so just to kind of go through how this all works, and I'll flash this up a little bit. So we got the names and numbers and everything right here that I'm going to be talking about. Why are you doing that for fun or for a video? So this is Ethernet Community Wrestling. Watch small solo streamer. Sorry. Watch small. Do you have a name that I can call you so that I don't freaking f your name up every single time? Anyways, this is Ethernet Community Wrestling. I attempted to do it every Thursday for a while. Got off the train a little bit, and got now I'm back on it again. Caught the bug again. This is definitely for fun. This is also a competitive sport now, for me personally, with all of this stuff. So what this just means is that this match right here, Palutena and Pitt were tied with 26 points, with male and female Wii Fit Trainer also with 26 points in the top 10. One thing that I would like to do at some point is to go through my spreadsheets on here, like I can cast them onto here from my computer, and just kind of show how extensive all of this is for me, to be able to go through and be able to create algorithms and create point scores and totals, create top 10 records, create records in general, championships, champions, tournaments, pay-per-view events, weekly events, period. I do actually have a YouTube channel where I download every one of these. I did like a dump download of a bunch of different stuff that I put up there. And one thing, if you can kind of send into the chat that you're still there, I want to show you what I've been working on for for a potential opening screen crawl before every one of these videos starts. Excuse me. So we have our point total, our plus or minus scores are sitting right in front of us here. So Palutena has a -3. Pitt has a +3. Let's see here. Female Wii Fit Trainer has a +2, and male Wii Fit Trainer has a -2. So, I keep knocking my freaking desk thing here. Again, apologizing for wiggling the screen and everything. I've got restless leg syndrome, I think, possibly, maybe. So that is an issue that I have to deal with. So anyways, yeah. So we'll continue on with the next match, which is actually going to be Terry versus Bowser. If I can find Bowser, there it is. Bowser and Terry. We're actually going to swap them around. And here we go. We'll turn the volume back up on here. 3, 2, 1.
Mario! Incineroar! 3, 2, 1, go!
Reach for my hand, I'll soar away into the dawn. I wish I could stay. Your cherished thoughts in peaceful days. I fear the edge of unknowing
Really enjoying the music today.
behind this mask that I have become. Black and hard, scorched by the flames of this I can't run from.
Game!
Okay. Okay. Wow. I was not expecting that.
Start the battle!
This, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event of the evening. Oh, stretching. Sorry, stretching. This is a rematch of several encounters. This match has been happening several times in the last couple of months. This is King K. Rool, the current champion, the former champion, two-time champion, versus Byleth, one-time former champion in the heavyweight division. After this, I'm going to make an announcement for the openweight division, and then we will get out of here.
and straight.
Stop that hole.
So, that is the end of that round for excuse me, for the Higher Ground Championship tournament to crown the first open weight division champion. We have King DDD, Incineroar, and Terry going up against each other in the semifinals, and then we have Mega Man, Ganondorf, and Byleth going up against each other in the semifinals. We had some pretty dominant victories. We had some very, very close encounters. Mega Man and Marth, -3, +3. Ganondorf and Hero, +3, -3. It's pretty intense. Last thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to announce some people that are going to be open weight division exclusives that are now moving over, forfeiting their spot in the singles division for now. In their weight class to go exclusively open weight. Those people right now are Joker, Wario, Samus, Kirby, Luigi, Sheik, Pikachu, Pichu, Peach, Rosalina, and Daisy, Wolf, Ludwig, Ike, Min Min, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Captain Falcon, Morton, Young Link, Toon Link, and Mr. Game & Watch. So, just announced, Min Min will not be in the middleweight division. She will not make her middleweight division debut at any point soon. She will be exclusively in the openweight division. I just want to say thank you real quick for anybody that dropped by, that said hello, to watch small solo streamer. You in the chat, first person in the chat in months for me. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to be shouting you out. I am shouting you out. Yeah, so that is it for me for today. I want to say thank you again for everybody that showed up, anybody that's going to watch this later. And just as a final little thing, I want to post this up here so that just to kind of show it. Whoa. Boom! That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming again, and good night. Bye.